Whether you're a backpacker, a digital nomad, a long-term traveler, or relocating to a foreign country, having the right insurance plan can mean the difference between getting the care you need and finding out the hard way that your plan wasn't built for your lifestyle.
If you're already looking at Genki, then you're probably finding that their two worldwide coverage plans, Genki Traveler and Genki Native, look pretty similar on the surface, but they're actually built for completely different situations.
Hey, I'm Jen.
And I'm Steve-O.
From Toucan Travel.
And so can you.
If you find this video helpful, a like and subscribe goes a long way. It helps us keep making content like this for travelers, expats, and immigrants who are figuring out this stuff just like we are.
This video is sponsored by Genki, but as always, everything we share is based on our own genuine experience with their products. We've been Genki customers for 2 years now because they're one of the companies that actually offers insurance with these lifestyles in mind. Genki is a German company, which means they are regulated by strict consumer protection and insurance law, ensuring that their products are both high quality and trustworthy.
Here's what we're going to cover in this video. What each Genki plan is actually designed for, the key differences that matter in real life, and how to figure out which one is the right fit for your situation. We've been digital nomads since 2018, and we'll also give you our personal take on how we handle our own insurance while traveling full-time. It's important to remember that insurance policies change, so always read the fine print. We've linked to the official Genki website in the description box below, so you can read the policies for both plans yourself and get a quote.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty of each plan, here's an easy way to differentiate the two. Genki Traveler is travel health insurance, and Genki Native is international health insurance. And those are not the same thing, even though people may think they are. Travel health insurance is designed to protect you from unexpected accidents and emergencies while you're away from home. International health insurance functions more like actual healthcare coverage for people who aren't really away from home anymore, because being abroad is home. So the question you need to ask yourself is, which one describes me?
Let's start with Genki Traveler. This plan is worldwide coverage designed for backpackers, people living or trying out the digital nomad or full-time travel lifestyle, taking a short trip of at least a month, or traveling for less than a year. Genki Traveler is built around one main idea. If something unexpected happens while you're abroad, you're covered. Accidents, a sudden illness, hospitalization, emergency evacuation, the really hairy stuff that you don't want to think about and that you can't plan for. It also covers outpatient visits for new medical issues, telemedicine, and a wide range of adventure activities and sports. Sign up is fully online and can be done from your home country or when you're already abroad. It's billed month to month and covers you for up to 1 year in a single insurance contract, meaning you'll need to sign up for a new Genki Traveler policy every year. There's 24/7 customer support, and you're covered for up to €1,000,000. The cost of coverage is based on your age range, and there's a €50 deductible per case.
To make this more concrete, let's think about the situations that Genki Traveler is actually built for. You're in Bangkok, and you get hit with a bad case of food poisoning, bad enough that you need a doctor and an IV drip. Traveler has you covered. You're in Bali, and you're injured in a motorbike accident. Traveler has you covered. You're hiking in Patagonia and you need emergency evacuation to a proper medical facility. Traveler has you covered. These unexpected, unplanned situations can turn a great trip into a financial nightmare without the right coverage in place. Traveler also covers things that are unexpected but not life-threatening. For example, if you get the flu or get stung by a jellyfish or have some other medical issue that you want to go to a doctor to get treated, but that isn't an emergency in the strictest sense, you're covered for that too. Where Traveler has its limits is outside of those unexpected situations. It's not designed to be your long-term healthcare plan, so it generally doesn't cover things like routine checkups, preventative care, ongoing treatment, mental health, routine pregnancy care, or dental care outside of genuine emergencies. And that's not a flaw, it's just what the product is designed for. It steps in when something unexpected happens. It is not meant to replace full healthcare access.
If you do have long-term health coverage in your home country, for example, the NHS in the UK, then you could use Genki Traveler as your coverage while you're abroad and sign up for a new traveler policy every year, with the plan to go back to your home country in case of a serious illness or a long-term condition. Coverage in your home country with Genki Traveler is limited to up to 42 days because this isn't meant to be your home country health insurance. And again, that coverage is only for accidents and emergencies and is not comprehensive. As Americans, we really appreciate having 6 weeks of coverage when we go back to the US to visit our families and friends, since getting health coverage in the US, especially short-term, can be really complicated.
Oh yeah.
If you're not from the US, but you plan to visit the States, then you are limited to 7 days of coverage for medical emergencies, unless you add the coverage in Canada and the USA option for an additional fee.
Traveler makes sense if you're relatively healthy, move around a lot, and want protection against emergencies and accidents or unexpected things like the flu or a minor injury. And for a lot of travelers, that's enough. But if your situation changes, like if you want to see a doctor for non-emergency issues, if you want coverage for more routine care, or if you don't have coverage in your home country anymore, that's where Genki Traveler has its gaps. And if you've been wondering whether Genki Traveler is enough for the life you're building abroad, well, that leads us to Genki Native.
Genki Native is full international health insurance, and it's designed for a fundamentally different kind of person. Not someone who's traveling short-term, but someone who's actually living abroad or traveling full-time. Native is built to support more comprehensive ongoing healthcare needs, ongoing treatment, and more consistent medical support overall. Ongoing treatment coverage is the key differentiator between Genki Traveler and Genki Native. For example, imagine someone gets diagnosed with breast cancer while they're traveling or living abroad. If they only have travel insurance like Genki Traveler, then their insurance policy could end while they might still be undergoing long-term treatment. Then they would be forced to pay out of pocket for their remaining treatments, and they would also find it very difficult to sign up for new health insurance because now they have a pre-existing condition which would not be covered. This is true for Genki, but also for virtually all private health insurance companies. So the big difference with Genki Native, and the reason that it costs more, is that it does not have a preset end date. In other words, the insurance company is on the hook to keep paying for your treatments for as long as needed. This is super important if you're relying on Genki as your only health insurance. If you're someone who doesn't have health coverage in your home country, then Genki Native might be a better solution for you.
Genki Native comes in 2 versions, Basic and Premium. Both plans offer 24/7 emergency assistance. Basic covers the core medical essentials like consultations, medications, and procedures. Premium expands from there and includes preventative checkups, dental, pregnancy, vision, and expanded mental health support. Now, and this is worth saying clearly, having those benefits on your plan doesn't mean that you are covered automatically or right away. There are waiting periods, annual limits, and reimbursement caps on certain coverages. So as always, make sure to read the fine print.
Unlike Traveler, Native functions more like traditional long-term insurance. There's a 12-month minimum commitment, a medical review when you apply, and pricing based on your age and coverage tier. It's designed to be renewable, so it's a stable healthcare solution you can actually build your life around.
To bring this to life, think about what day-to-day healthcare looks like when you're living abroad long-term. Imagine you've been feeling off for a few days, you want to see a doctor, get properly examined, and actually treated. Native covers that. And when something more specific comes up that you want looked at by a specialist, Native covers that too. And for those of you considering the premium tier, it also covers mental health support, therapy sessions, psychiatry, and even therapy apps. It's important to note that there is a 6-month waiting period on mental health coverage, so if that is something that matters to you, the sooner you get signed up, the better. Several other benefits also have waiting periods. For example, pregnancy coverage has a 12-month waiting period. This is helpful to know if you are in the planning stages for your family. Genki Native offers worldwide coverage, but it's clearly designed for people who live primarily outside the US and Canada. Coverage inside those countries is more limited and emergency focused. So if you spend significant time in the US or Canada, make sure to read up on those country limitations before you sign up.
Native starts making more sense when you've stopped thinking about yourself as a traveler and started thinking about yourself more as someone who lives internationally. Genki Native is for people who want consistent healthcare access, who may want to stay abroad in case they get sick, and who don't have long-term health coverage elsewhere like in their home country.
So let's make this simple. If you're watching this video, you already know that you need insurance coverage, but you're not sure which one to pick. Here is an easy question to ask yourself that will help you find the answer. Am I traveling or am I living internationally? If you're traveling, flexible, temporary, and just looking for coverage against the worst case scenarios, Traveler is probably the right fit. And if you're abroad long-term and want more comprehensive healthcare access, consistent coverage, and something you can build your life around, Native is that step up. Neither is better. They're just built for different situations. And whichever direction you're leaning, Genki makes both straightforward to set up. You can get a quote using these QR codes or the links down in the description box. Now let's talk about how we handle our insurance as full-time travelers.
We've been Genki customers since 2024, and for most of our travels, travel-focused coverage has been exactly what we needed. Before using Genki, we had Safety Wing travel coverage, but we switched to Genki because they gave us more time back in the US to spend with family and friends when we go home to visit. Personally, we're comfortable being covered for accidents and emergencies during our travels, and then we pay out of pocket for routine care like annual checkups, dental visits, that kind of thing. And we do that wherever we happen to be traveling in the world. Last year, we did all of our checkups when we were in Albania, and this year we're doing them all in Vietnam and Thailand. In our experience, paying out of pocket for routine care is much more affordable outside the US. That setup has worked really well for us for the past several years, but as we're getting older, our thinking is starting to change. At some point, the question we're asking ourselves has stopped being, what happens if we have an emergency? And started to be, do we have access to the healthcare that we want? And when that important question changes, our plan probably will too. So Genki Native is something we're seriously looking at for the next phase of our life abroad.
If Traveler sounds like the right fit for you, head to the link below and get a quote in just a few minutes. And if you're leaning towards Genki Native, the link to start the quote process is down there too.
If this helped you make sense of Genki's two plans, then hit like and subscribe. It really does help us out.
Thank you so much for watching.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye. Bloop.
Beautiful!
Yay!